Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Andrew Davis in for Ben and Tina tonight. We're coming on the air tonight with some breaking news. It's a deadly shooting on East Victory Drive in Savannah, right near Dave's Hot Chicken and the Seasons of Japan. WSAV's Isabella Baez first on the scene. Isabella, what's the latest?
Good evening, Andrew. I'm right on the parking lot of the Dave's Hot Chicken and the Seasons of Japan, right off of Victory Drive, where there's a heavy police presence after a shooting. We have been on the scene for the past hour, and we have seen Savannah Fire, Chatham Emergency Services, and the Savannah Police Department, along with their forensic unit. The perimeter of the parking lot is covered in crime scene tape, and the entrances are blocked by police cars. According to SPD, one adult male was injured and succumbed to his injuries on the scene. Officers has detained a person of interest and recovered a firearm. Now, this is a developing story, and we'll continue to update you on air and online as we do learn more. Reporting live in Savannah, I'm Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Isabella, thanks so much. It's a small, cheap piece of plastic, and it's fueling a dangerous and growing threat across the Lowcountry. Prosecutors say so-called switches are turning everyday handguns into illegal machine guns, capable of firing dozens of rounds in just seconds. And as these devices become easier to find and even make right at home, investigators say the risk to the public only getting worse.
You're literally spraying bullets everywhere. And with every one of those sprays, it endangers somebody else.
Handguns, pistols that instead of firing one bullet per trigger pull can now shoot hundreds with just the twitch of a finger.
It can be very easily converted by the use of what's called a switch, which is literally a little piece of plastic or resin that can be jammed into the back of the gun.
It's a little change that is keeping 14th Circuit Solicitor Duffy Stone and his team very busy.
Law enforcement has made more machine gun cases in the past 2 years in the 14th Circuit than they made in the previous 10 put together.
What worries the solicitor more is how easy it is to find a switch just by typing it into a search bar. Or even worse, criminals, gang members, now making these themselves at home.
You think about 3 years ago, the purchase of a 3D printer was thousands and thousands of dollars. You were having to get them. They were large. They were difficult to obtain. Today, you can probably get one for Walmart for less than $200. So with the use of a 3D printer, the 3D printer can produce these little switches. The switches are then placed into the handgun, and they're converted to machine guns.
And those little switches can be made for pennies and sold for 100 times more than that on the street. The solicitor's office is doing its part to bring these criminals to justice and giving them up to an extra 10 years in jail that comes with the machine gun statute. But Stone says that's not enough, and the criminals aren't watching or caring.
I see law enforcement making more cases today than they did 3 years ago, but I think that's going to be the new norm. I think that's what we're going to see next year and the year after next.
And the solicitor says stronger laws are key to slowing the rise of these illegal machine guns, especially targeting the gangs that using them. He's pushing for a state gang statute that would bring tougher penalties and additional charges. So far, 4 different gang-related bills have been introduced in the South Carolina legislature. None have made it to a full debate. Now, in both chambers, with just weeks left in this year's session, it's looking more and more likely those changes aren't going to happen anytime soon. Some new information tonight about a deadly incident on Hilton Head Island where a 90-year-old woman died after drowning when her car ended up in a lagoon. The Beaufort County Coroner's Office identified the victim as Helen Connors of Bluffton. Officials say Connors died after the vehicle she was driving left the road and went into the water along South Beach Lagoon Drive in Sea Pines. Investigators say this happened about 7:30 Tuesday night, but the car wasn't discovered until the following day when it was found submerged. The Beaufort County Sheriff's Office is continuing to investigate. A St. Helena Island family now starting over after a house fire destroyed the home they spent decades building. Elaine Felder says her family lived in that home for 25 years until fire tore through it last week. That left her and her sons with nothing. She woke up March 25th to the sound of flames ripping through that newly renovated home. The family made it out safely, but everything inside was lost. Officials with the Ladies Island St. Helena Fire District say that cause of the fire still under investigation. Felder unsure how she'll manage the cost of a rebuild.
I'm hoping, that God will lay it on some people's heart to go ahead and donate, you know, because this is a major loss and a major tragedy for me, not only me, for my mom, my sister, and my kids.
In the meantime, Felder says she's staying in a hotel and is unsure exactly how long she can even afford to stay there. We've posted a link to her GoFundMe page on WSAV.com. Well, following up now this week at Parris Island, 397 recruits took that final step to becoming Marines. Now, despite heightened security measures and some confusion about access to the base, family and friends were still able to witness the ceremony and celebrate the milestone. WSV's Danielle Cobb was there.
Mixed messaging over the last few days created confusion about which federal authorities would be on site today during Parris Island's graduation and what they would be doing. But despite enhanced gate security and concern about ICE agents on site, thousands of families showed up to support the 397 new Marines.
I still can't believe it. I tried joining back in 2019, and then I got a second chance now, and I made it. I'm shaking.
It's a significant milestone for the almost 400 recruits, each now basking in the title of United States Marine.
We view this as one of the most significant events, not only in their Marine Corps journey, but also in their lives.
The special moment is shared along the platoons, but also thousands of family and friends who, starting early morning, filed into the 3 base entry lines, waiting to be one of 12 cars extensively searched at a time.
We do operate under enhanced force protection right now, so we are conducting additional identification checks.
Federal authorities helped support that security, though there were no obvious signs what authorities were on site today. Even with worry over conflicting information the last few days, traffic for Family Day and graduation didn't reflect any concern.
Our normal trend lines for what we would expect to see for a graduating class this size.
Several Marines say they're thankful it didn't take away from their hard-earned battle.
I'm happy. It was a long, hard 13 weeks, but this was a well-deserved moment.
Base officials say they were able to bring several credentialed foreign nationals onto the base to see their Marine graduate. They tell me no arrests or detentions were made at the gate yesterday for Family Day or today during graduation. Danielle Cobb, WSAV News 3, on your side.
And even with that uncertainty about which federal authorities were present, a small group of protesters gathered near the recruit depot, responding to earlier messaging that ICE could be on site. Those protesters positioned themselves just off base property, aiming to share their message as graduation traffic moved through. Their focus was ICE, reacting to reports that federal agents would be checking immigration status at the gates. Now, one participant said the agency's presence was just unnecessary.
Maybe they are undocumented, but they're not doing anything bad. They're trying to get their kids, nieces, nephews, all out of boot camp. They want to see them, and they can't prevent that just because they're undocumented.
And base officials say they were aware of the demonstration. They do support American citizens exercising their First Amendment rights. This was actually the first protest the installation has noted.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Not looking at too many atypical slowdowns. I-16 westbound at Pooler Parkway looking good. Eastbound heading away from the camera, things look fine as well. Low Country has been really I'd say the trouble spot of the area, but decent flow both directions, but you have those hit or miss spots with the lane drop along with construction work near the state line. I-95 in the Coastal Empire, though, has some issues, and Georgia 204 is backed up past all the way to Highway 17 there. My goodness, I apologize there. Anyway, not looking at too many major concerns, but we do have those slowdowns here still on 204 near King George, and we are looking at really no bad drive times from Hardeeville to Savannah and back.